Helen Brums here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1906. Shining sparkles. Yes. Today is like a Shake It Up Saturday. We definitely did everything out of the norm today. We did go for a beautiful walk in the rain. It was raining, yay. Well, not really raining. It was just sprinkle here and a sprinkle. It was just sprinkling is what it was really doing. It wasn't enough that Zeffie was like stopping every 2 to 3 feet to shake herself. She just happily trotted along like nothing was going on. And normally if it's raining, she'd be stopping every 2 to 3 feet and shaking the water off. She hates getting wet, but she won't put raincoats on. So them's the breaks. Anyway, so we got to have a beautiful walk in the rain. It was awesome. And then we came back and we had breakfast, and then I got everything packed up to take to Sparkles, which is my RV, so we could finish cleaning it out. And it's going to take a little more than this weekend, I think, and get over there and get that done. And I had white trash bags for trash. I had black trash bags for for any soft things like towels or there's no clothing left in there. So anything soft that didn't need to be put into a box for protection or anything like that. So I had black trash bags and white trash bags with me. We filled no black trash bags. I also had my reusable shopping bags with me, and I have some big ones. Like I've got the Costco ones, which are quite long and wide, which was very handy. And we got out there to Sparkles and totally forgot to take my stepping stool with me. I have a step stool that I use in the RV when the steps aren't working, and totally forgot that there'll be no battery power, so therefore the steps won't come out. Thankfully, because it's a high step where it is, and it's on gravel, and it's a gravel that when you're walking on, your feet are kind of sliding back as you're walking, so you're like walking on dry sand. Your feet sink and you slide back. Thankfully, I had a foldable step stool behind the recliner, which is right by the door, and got that out. First of all, I took everything down to by the door there with the of the RV, then put everything inside, then went back and got Zeffie and got her to jump up in, and she got in there no problem at all. And she's kind of like, what's going on? And I'd left one of her beds that she uses. I'd left one of them in the RV, so I shook it out and threw it up on the dashboard for her. She didn't stay up there a lot, even though there was a lot of activity going on out the front there, because there was an RV that was, we're underneath the shelter, so we're nose in, and there's an RV that was right here. So across and, in front of us, but to the side. And they were prepping to leave and all of that. So there's a lot of activity, but she was more interested in what the heck are you doing? And we got in there, and with all the rain and everything that's been had, there was no musty smell, which is awesome, because that means there's no mold growing anywhere, which was good. But there was a lot of almost like a dirt smell. And I had accidentally left all of the vents open up on the dashboard. So whenever there was any good wind, it would blow all the dust into the RV. So yeah, there was a lot of stuff coated in dust today. So we were sneezing and sniffling through the whole thing, and but got the most of the kitchen cupboards clear. There's cupboards that I still have to go back at least 2 more times just to finish clearing it out, because there's I've got high cupboards in the kitchen, and I got the stuff from the cupboard that was over top of the refrigerator by standing on the seat for the dining table, because the slide was in, so I only had about this much space to reach across, and pulling things out that way. And then the one that's above the stove, I was able to get into that one pretty easy, because everything they needed, because it was always like a pantry, there was just plastic containers all lined up with stuff in. They all went into the trash. I ended up with 4 big bags of trash to bring back. And of course, I opened up the cupboard underneath the sink there, and I'm like, oh crap! I totally forgot I had all this stuff sitting here. And there was a big roll of trash bags there as well. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I went prepared, not 100% prepared, but mainly prepared. And of course, when I opened up the door, the first thing I hear is beep, smoke detector batteries. So we had to put up with beep. We were there almost 3 hours today. And in that time, I filled up 4 large trash bags. I got 4 let's see, my big Costco bag, I filled that up. I had, I've got these really cool packing cube things for the organization in the trunk. So they actually compress down, but when you open them, they're probably a good 2 to 2.5 feet long. And each cubby is about, no, it must be 2 feet because each cubby and it's got like a separate thingy down the middle, and each portion is probably about 12 by 12 and then 12 high. So it compacts down nice and neat. So I filled that up, filled up the Costco bag, and then I had an Aldi bag, which was bigger than a regular reusable shopping bag that you get from the things. It's between the Costco size and a regular bag. So I got that filled up. What else? Oh, that was just it with the stuff that I was bringing back. There was a lot of trash. I just saw the plastic containers with foodstuffs in them. Like it was like I had one with turmeric, one with brown sugar, and then just it was my pantry staple stuff. And so they just all went straight into the trash bag. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I did get my retriever tool for my air fryer though, because I've been looking for. Maybe I left it in the RV, and there it was. And then I'm clearing out the bottom drawer because I had the drawers to clear out as well. I'm clearing out the bottom drawer, and I'm like, oh, here's my air fryer cookbook I've been looking for. Here's my George Foreman cookbook I've been looking for. So I found all my all the instruction manuals and cookbooks that come with appliances like my air fryer, like my Instapot, like my George Foreman grill. The Vitamix one I already have at the house because I took that one because I needed I used the smoothie recipes in there. And so then I'm like standing there and I did have to wipe down the tap, and I'm like, oh, I can't even put the tap on to get water out of the tank. But fortunately I have two 64 ounce stainless steel bottle, thermal bottles. And I had put water into those. And so I was able to use that to at least wet a sponge to wipe down the table. And I'm like, oh, I wish I should have bought paper towels with me. And I turn around and there's my paper towel hanger hanging underneath the cabinet where it's always been, where I've, when I put it, since I put it there, I'm like, well, dual brain. So, but overall, we've ended up filling up the trunk of the car to bring home. And by the time we got home, we left around 10 and we got home just before 1. I unpacked everything out of the back of the car. We've still got the stuff that we brought back with us sitting in the garage by the door to come into the house. We just didn't have the strength of the energy at that point. We were hungry. We had snacks with us. We had snacks and water with us. And I brought Zeffie with me as well. And so she would just sit there like, what are you doing? Like she just had, and as soon as we got home and she came inside, she was like running around like anything, like, oh, we're home. I think she was worried we were going to be going on another road trip. I don't know. Wait until the road trip she gets. Yeah, she's this is going to be an interesting road trip when we drive from Auckland down to Wellington. It's going to be an interesting road trip with her because she hasn't done a road trip in a car with me for any length of time. So this is going to be interesting. She's only ever done road trips with me in the RV. We've done day trips out in the car and that sort of stuff, but not like a 6 to 7 hour car trip. Anyway, so we got a lot done in Sparkles Day, which I was thankful for. I know I've got to go back, and I'm like thinking, oh, I've got to bring water back with me. And then I'm like, hang on, Amazon has provided me with a lot of free water. So anytime you order anything from Amazon in the groceries that needs refrigeration or freeze from a refrigerator or freezer, it has to be kept cold. They put in their frozen bottles of Amazon purified water. Frozen bottles get put in the bottom of the bag, and then your foodstuffs is put on top, and then they seal the bag closed. And it's these bags that are almost foil. I think they're foil lined. And they put a piece of cardboard at the bottom. They put like 4 or 5 bottles of frozen water in the bottom, and they just take their and it's got on there Amazon purified water. And they're just frozen solid. And so I've got some sitting in the freezer, some sitting in the refrigerator. And I keep forgetting to put some in the car for when I go out driving. So if I see anybody on the side of the road or something, can give them some fresh water and that sort of stuff. But I thought, oh, I need to take some of those. Oh, and then I tried to jumpstart Sparkles, but the battery was dead. And when I went to check and I'm like, I hooked everything up, but I didn't check the battery. If I checked the battery, I would have known that hooking up the jumping device thing that I have would have been a big clue that the cap that sits on top, because this one you put the water in the battery and one of the caps was off completely. So I'm sort of like, oh, can I refill it and try it? Huh, how much dirt and dust has gotten in there? And this is a big battery. I mean, it's way bigger than a car battery. And so I had to wipe all the dust, all the dirt off, because the whole engine is just covered in dust and dirt. And I had to wipe all the dust and dirt off the battery just to take photos of it so I could figure out what I need to replace it with, because I'm probably going to have to put a new battery in there just so it can start. And I even had my battery trickler with me. I had my jump starter. I had my trickler with me because I was going to plug it all in. And yeah, didn't get to do that. So, so now I have to find where my 9-volt batteries are so I can take them over to Sparkles to replace the batteries in the smoke detectors. I got to remember to take my stepping stool with me. So we came home, unloaded the car, and then I looked around and I said to Zephyr, I says, let's go out and get some lunch. And so I got on my phone and I ordered, Sonic had this deal of buy one entree, get one free. And I'm like, done. Lunch, dinner, done. So like I can handle that. So I ordered a couple of burgers, and we went in the car and went down to get it. Now, when you drive into Sonic, you go into one of the parking bays, one of the stalls there, and you get on the app and you put which store number you're at, and that checks you in. It would not let me check in. It kept telling me that I was too far away from Sonic. I'm sitting at Sonic, and I click on the thing, and it's showing me a place that's like 2.5 miles down the freeway in a residential area. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so. And I'm like looking, is that telling me where I am? And so I had to press the red button on the little thing and tell them, hey, look, placed an order. I'm checking in. The app won't let me check it. And then apparently there was something wrong with their GPS system today. So yeah, they had their own fun. So we came home and had lunch, and then I said to Zephyr, okay, let's just sit down for a little bit. And the next thing I knew, it was 4:00 in the afternoon. It was probably around, so I had a 2-hour nap. It was good. And I said to Zephyr, so let's just sit for a little bit. I just need to sit and relax, put my feet up for a little bit. And then I'll go and have a shower, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do for the rest of the day. Yeah. So I fell asleep. I woke up, it was 4:00. We went for a walk at 5. I came back, had a shower, and here we are. So that's been my day. It's been a lot of fun. And just going into the RV, there's a lot of memories coming back about some of the road trips we'd done. And then I was like checking this area and checking. And I was like, oh yeah, no, I've cleared out those, haven't I? And I like opened up. Oh, I never cleared out of that. Oh, okay, we got to clear that out. So there's been a lot of like, oh yeah. And then there was, I didn't pick it up. And so then I was looking next to the passenger seat and the driver's seat. They've got these wooden racks that you can put like maps and vehicle documents and stuff in there. And I knew I needed to get the vehicle document stuff out of the RV. I thought it was in the RV, and it was. And then I was looking at the other side, and that's where I have my road map, which gives you the RV safe. It's like a trucker's map. It shows you all of on the maps. Yes, it is an actual physical book of maps of the US. It shows you all of the truck safe routes. And so that's what I would follow with the RV. Where can I go? Basically, if a truck can go that way, I can go that way. If they say no trucks this way, then I ain't going that way. Is basically my rule when I was driving. So it had all of the truck safe routes on, so I could map out my trips. I also had an app that I was using for that as well. But I could also, I'm touchy-feely. Gonna set it, gotta get the map out and eyeball it, feel it with, run my finger along it and all that sort of thing. And then they also have my next stop book, my next exit book. Now, next exit, if you're doing any road trips whatsoever and you're going on the major interstates, there is an app that's called Next Exit. What you do is that you turn around and put in where you're starting from. Then it will ask you which interstate are you going to be using, and are you going to be going north, south, east, or west on it, depending which way the thing goes, and you let it know. And so then it puts you that you're coming on here and where are you going to, and you can go along, and at every exit, it will tell you what's at the exit. It will tell you where the rest areas are. It will tell you where the like the truckers, what do they call them? The parking areas that the truckers use, where they have no facilities. So it's like a rest area, but no facilities. Some may have a picnic table there under a cover, but usually it's just a parking area. Those have been very helpful when you're driving an RV. And then it will tell you at the exit, you've got this gas station, you've got these stores, you've got these restaurants, you've got these hotels, you've got these big chain store. It just tells you whatever's at that exit. If you get off at this exit, you might have a Walmart, a Target, you might have a CVS there. There could be Banfields there, because I always want to know where the Banfields was, because that's her vet. And then there's these fast food restaurants are there, and then there's these sit-down restaurants that are there, and here's where the gas stations are, and so it tells you all of that information for every exit. Now, I had the book, but you also have the app version as well. And when my parents came over in 2019 and we did that big road trip, my dad sat there. I thought Mum would appreciate the front seat more, but she was quite happy to sit behind me on the couch. They changed that around, and then Dad would sit there and he'd have the map book out in front of him with the map open to the map that we were traveling along, and he would have next exit open to the pages that we were traveling along and that sort of thing. And so he was my navigator. So anytime I says, I need a rest area, and he's sort of like, okay, which mile marker do we just pass? Okay, right. And then go into his next exit. All right, you've got an exit coming up at and there's a rest area there. Fine, good. So we had it worked out. It worked very well. And then after that, when I was doing my own road trips, I would sit there with the next exit book, and I would sit there with Post-its, and or just a piece of lined paper, and I would write out on the piece of paper the direction that we were, based on the direction we were going, and I would already have gone through, and I would circle in my pink or red. I would circle the ones that had like Walmart's or Pilot or Flying J gas stations, because I got really good discounts on those on gas. What else would I put on there? Walmart, that grocery stores. Usually we use Walmart most of the time, because if I needed any RV supplies, they have, most of the Walmarts we went to had really good RV supplies. And what else would I check off? Oh, and if it was the exit for the campground that we were going to be staying at. And so I would then list it down on where all the rest areas were. That was the other one, the rest areas. And I'll put, rest area at this mile marker, we're heading east on the 10, and we're going through Texas that day or whatever it was, and so I would find out what exit my campground was at, because the campground sites were pretty good about putting directions on there. If you're coming along an interstate, get off at this particular exit. So I'd put, that's the one we've got to go to, and I would mark it in the book, and then I'll circle the one that we were starting at, and then I would go through and circle all the Walmarts, the rest areas, the gas stations that I used. Very quickly learned that there's an engine light thingy that comes on, and when this particular symbol comes up, it meant that something about the gas cap not being on properly or something. It was something to do with the gas. And we quickly learned that there were some gas stations we had to avoid, because when we filled up with that gas, that light would come on constantly. And so we would have to go and, that light would come on without a doubt if we use that particular brand of gas. Sometimes we had to, because there was no options around. But we tried to fill up to make sure that we would miss anyone's coming. And this is where this next exit book came in handy, because it would tell us what gas stations were coming up. So we were looking for Loves, we were looking for Flying J's, because we knew those are the ones that cater. And there was the other one, travel something. Oh, what's the travel one? There's also a travel one too. So there were three main ones that we had for the truckers, and they all had their area to go to with the diesel and everything else. But most of them also had RV, just regular gas at an RV thing. So you weren't taking up two pumps, because a lot of times you had to pull in and you have to line the back one up with the back pump, because if you pulled too far forward, you were now blocking the area in front. And so you'd have to park across two pumps. And so some of them were very wise, and actually had over to the side, had pump bays set up for those with RVs. So you were only taking up the one pump, but you had plenty of room to maneuver your vehicle into that space and out of that space again. And I always learned to go in to the register, because I knew how much, because a lot of gas stations, they would have a dollar limit that they would cut you off at if you used a credit card or a debit card at the pump. So you would have to go inside. And it was really cool, because I had with Flying J and Pilot, I would go in there and I'd pull out my little Good Sam membership card, and that got me 5 cents off a gallon, and which is more than the Pilot and Flying J members get. So anyway, just a little FYI. So I could show that, get my discount on gas, and I would tell them need to put, and I would have a rough estimate in my head about how much I had to put on there, and get them to put that onto the card, and then of course going later on to pick up my final receipt and stuff like that. So it took a little time to fill up with gas, but it was worth it. And so this next exit would tell me where those ones were, and I would circle them. So, but what else was sitting there? I totally got off on a completely different story. So I was at my mastermind group the other night, and they mentioned this book, and I thought, oh, it sounds like a really, and somebody mentioned this book, and they had read it because it had been recommended, and they had read it, and Casey was talking about what a really good book it was. In fact, I think he recommended it at one point, because I think that's where she got the name of the book from, was a recommendation that Casey had given a while ago. And so I looked at, the map one can stay the next day. Because well, what's this book sitting here? So he had mentioned this book, which is all about marketing, and don't ask me the name of it because I don't remember it right now. It's in one of the bags out there. And I was sort of like, isn't this the book that Casey mentioned on Thursday? So I pull up my phone. What do I have to? Oh, because I had I bought the audio version, the Audible version of it, and I had some credits to use. So I figured, I'll use one of the credits, because the way I use my Audible credits is that I look at the price of the book. If it's less than what I pay for the credit, I pay for the Audible. If it's more than what I paid for the credit, then I use the credits. That's a cool little tip. So anyway, and it was more than what I paid for the credit, so it got bought on the credit. So I went to my Audible and saw that it was there, and I thought, oh, cool. So now I can actually, because this is what I love to do, especially with nonfiction books, is have the audio play while I physically read the book, and then I can make my markings and my notes and all of that in the margins, and put my highlighting in there, and do my little flags and everything, and I can pause it, and I can, while I quickly jot down some notes or something, or circle words I don't know, so I can pause it, go over, find out what the word means, write it in the margin, just all my annotation stuff. So so there was that book, and I'm sort of like, okay, this book got mentioned on Thursday. I bought the audio of it. I now actually have I didn't realize I had the physical copy of it. I'm obviously meant to read this book. So that'll be the next one I get started. Yes. So anyway, chocolate time. So that was our day today. It was very busy at the beginning, and then we just we just fell asleep this afternoon. All I wanted to do was just sit and relax for a few minutes before I went and had a shower, and I napped for 2 hours, and then when I woke up from the nap, it was almost time to go for a walk. And it was a very nice, I would have to tell you, it was, when we went for a walk in the rain this morning, it was 60 degrees, which is 15 degrees centigrade, Celsius. Our high today was 71 degrees Fahrenheit, or 22 degrees Celsius, and our overnight low tonight is going to be 54 degrees, which is Fahrenheit, which is 12 degrees Celsius. So I'm super, super excited. Oh, and then, of course, totally forgot the biggest news of the day. Most people won't even care about this, but it's New Zealand. We had a big win today. So we successfully defended the America's Cup 3 times back to back. Today they won over Britannia, and apparently they have already accepted a challenge. So apparently, I don't know how this works, but the next America's Cup isn't run until teams have challenged the defender for the cup. So apparently they'd already got, by the time they went to the presentation ceremony or whatever it was, they already had a challenge for the 38th Louis Vuitton America's Cup. So today was the 37th one, and New Zealand won 7-2 over Britannia. So very, very proud of my Kiwi guys. So congratulations to all of them. Right, chocolate time. Still got the cream. See, I'm saving this one to last, and I already know what I'm going to do second to last. Second to last is because I did the square one yesterday with the pistachios. I have another square one, which is bitter. I think it's bittersweet. I think is what it is. Or is it just called bitter? It's 60% bitter, which means it's got a little cacao in it, but it's not going to be that bitter because I eat up to 90% cacao with no problems. So I'm going to do caramel. This one might be a cup. I wonder what this one is. This is another wafer one. Oh, that one's got like sticks in it. So we're getting down to the bottom. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this 8 left. I don't know what with nuts and. Oh, this is a little short one. We're going to do this one. It's called Wanted. So we're going to do Wanted Bomba. There we go. That's what this one looks like. Wanted Bomba. It's just a small chocolate bar. Now let's go tell a story on this one. Right here. Okay. Etty Wanted Bomba bar features a delicate blend of crispy corn and wheat flakes. Okay. Coated in smooth milk chocolate and enriched with an exotic flavor of coconut. Yes, I love coconut and chocolate. Each bite delivers a satisfying crunch and a burst of sweetness, making it a perfect treat for any time of the day. Whether you need a quick snack or a moment of indulgence, Etty Wanted Bomba bar offers a unique combination of textures and flavors that will leave you wanting more. Well, I can tell you this isn't going to be half one eaten today. It's probably going to be a whole one eaten. So let's have a look at the Wanted Bomba. It's probably pronounced completely differently than Wanted Bomba, but that's what it looks like. So, all right. So this is the this is the whole thing. It almost looks like a Lego piece. Well, it's not sweet. They said it was sweet. Coconut flavor is definitely coming through. What do they say about this one? Blend of crispy corn and wheat flakes. Those must be in the bubble bits. It's coated in smooth chocolate, enriched with an exotic flavor of coconut. Definitely. It takes a while for the coconut to come through because, as you can see, it's just a little bit of coconut, but there's a lot of chocolate around it. This one's not going to last. Each bite delivers a satisfying crunch. Yep. And a burst of sweetness. Well, it is not overly sweet. In fact, I don't even think it's that sweet at all, but it's really good. That's that one done. That was actually a good one. I like that one. Now I wonder if World Market carries any of these, because I'll go get some more of these ones. I like that. That was a good one. Oh, that doesn't go in there. So now I have no chocolate for tomorrow morning, because I usually eat half and then have the other half in the mornings. But so if you want to get your Choco Bliss up with 15 different candy bars in here that are all from Turkey, just go scan the code up here and it'll take you right to it on Amazon. And as I am an Amazon affiliate, then I will make a small commission on it, but it doesn't cost you any extra. Oh, that was good. Well, with that, we are out of here. I'm going to go have my other burger from today for dinner tonight. And I just had dessert first. So a reverse dinner. We just had dessert. Now we're going to go eat dinner. So go out and have a super